Now, a former general in Afghanistan's national army has told the BBC that he and many other former Afghan soldiers and politicians are preparing to launch military operations against the Taliban next month after the Islamic Eid festival. 37-year-old Lieutenant General Sami Sadat, who had just assumed command of Afghan special forces when the government collapsed last August, says 8 months of Taliban rule has already convinced many Afghans that military action is the only way to stop their increasingly authoritarian rule. He's been speaking for the first time about their plans to our chief international correspondent, Lise Doucet.
One of your recent conversations was leaked in which you announced, and I quote, "As a young Afghan general, I consider it my duty to stand up to the occupation and fight until we re-liberate Afghanistan again." Why are you rushing into something that Afghans don't want? They don't want another war, whatever they think of the Taliban.
I was planning initially with my friends to give Taliban 12 months and see if they change. Unfortunately, every day you wake up, the Taliban have had something new to do. They're, torturing people, killing, disappearances, food shortages, children malnutrition and everything. And it's easy for others, like in the West or elsewhere, to say give the Taliban a chance. But it's not easy for me that every day I see in my phone getting hundreds of messages from young girls, young boys, from families, from good people, from doctors and officers, and says we've been tortured, we've been oppressed, we've been disrespected, and what are you going to do about it? Or, there's probably thousands of Afghans who are getting these messages.
But we also hear from many in the Afghan countryside, which bore the brunt of the war of the past 20 years, that they're so relieved that the US and Afghan warplanes and drones are out of the sky. They're relieved that they feel, whatever they think of Taliban, but they're relieved at least that there is peace. Would they welcome, would they give the kind of support to your fighting forces that you would need in order to make any kind of advance?
I think, Liz, I don't believe there is peace in Afghanistan. Peace of
But
what?
certainly more peaceful. And they say, even, for example, in Helmand, we hear where you commanded forces, that many people remember the kind of operations that you ordered in which civilians were killed, even markets were hit.
I don't think civilians were killed under my command.
Well, there are repeated instances
There's
and reports.
reports, of course.
This is what the Helmandis tell us.
Well, this is word of mouth. If there is an evidence that has shown that directly my forces or myself have been involved in, with the civilians getting hurt, I think that's not true. When the war in Lashkar Gah began, I have ordered all the civilians to leave the city.
But if Afghan history has any lessons, it is that armed groups make progress when they have a stronghold, a sanctuary in a neighboring country. If they have a stronghold, a foothold inside the country where they can operate from, and if they have strong foreign backers. Do you have any of those, you and the people that you will be working with?
Of course, the war this time for us will be very different. We will be fighting as an insurgency, if I put it that way. It will not cost us a lot of expenses. A lot of good patriot Afghans have came together. They want to share their wealth. They want to share and support this struggle. I will not comment on the neighboring countries, and I hope that we will get some.
But do you have allies, foreign allies?
No, we don't. We don't want to have foreigners involved in our war because it's our country, it's our war.
So in a few weeks' time, you're going to be heading to a border, a neighboring state with arms to move inside Afghanistan, to start attacking?
I don't want to put a timeline, but we definitely decided to go into an armed struggle against the Taliban and join our other brothers who are doing that. And we're definitely trying to get some sort of a political unity amongst our leaders and then work together in the younger generation of Afghan leaders into going in and freeing our people from the Taliban. So what we want to do is, create circumstances whereby even the Taliban themselves, the moderate Taliban, could become part of the government, could be safe in our society. We are not against the Taliban. We are against the way they are governing. Their textbook is wrong for Afghanistan.